Hello, hello. Welcome to Piece of Pat Paints. I'm Pat, and that is blinding. There we go. Get that out of the way. I had that for over there for taking pictures. All right, that's better. Welcome to the show. It's Friday. Yeah, we are cruising along. We're on to Catwoman today, which is super exciting. I love the old Batman DC stuff. I was never. I kind of like Superman, but I was always a bigger Batman fan. So you know, there you go. We're gonna get these guys finished up. I got a big show coming up in March. I'm hoping we can get some interest in what we're doing and kind of keep us moving, which would be awesome. If you like what you see and you dig our vibe, give us a like and subscribe. It'd be super awesome. I really appreciate it. We're at 469. I think at 500, I clear my first real rung of the monetization ladder. After that, I've got to get like a certain amount of view time or something like that. I forget what it is. But we're working on that. It's a slow process. I'm not worried about it. I would be doing this anyway, even if I wasn't filming it. I would probably be doing. I'd actually, I think maybe filming it helps me do it more regularly. I don't actually. My shoulder is killing me today. It was bad. It was worse yesterday. It was way worse yesterday. I was having trouble staying focused and conscious. So we definitely couldn't be painting yesterday. But we're here to paint today. I'm feeling a little bit better. At least well enough to maybe do some dry brushing. Maybe we'll do Catwoman and Two-Face, just get both dry brush. Depending on how I'm feeling. And we might be able to get started on doing like her actual costume, which would be cool. Which I really think we're going to go. We're going to try to make her kind of mimic Batman in a way. Just to kind of keep, but different, kind of like we did with Harley and Joker, and that way we can have like maybe when you do a spin, it'll help them match up and they'll look good together as the guys and gals. Since Catwoman and Batman seem to align with each other on a semi-regular basis, they don't necessarily hate each other all the time. Yeah, that can get a little PG-13. Anyway. Let's see. Let's get everything set up. Let's do that. We're gonna do that. Everything is on. Okay. I got a little water down there. That's from restoring our wet palette. It is so cluttered from all the game with the two clowns that I restarted. We're gonna get some more colors out when we get into Penguin and Two-Face, of course. But Catwoman's going to be fairly simple. She doesn't really have a whole lot of oh snap, what am I looking for? She's got a lot of colors. There's not a lot of color to her. It's all, her stuff's pretty dark like Batman. She likes to be not seen, so it'll be fun. If you don't have a wet palette, get one. They're nice. There's all sorts of different kinds and brands and but I recommend them. They're really nice. It takes a little bit of getting used to how to operate with one, but it can really keep your paints going, especially with the kind of paints I use, since I use a little bit more of a professional heavy-bodied acrylic, which I don't necessarily recommend for everybody. You have to know how to thin your paints to be able to use the kind of paints I use. So I definitely recommend, if you're new, buying model paints, miniature paints and stuff like that. They're pre-thinned, so you don't have to. They're a lot more forgiving that way, you know, because you're already starting out pretty thin. I like to have all the consistencies available to me, so I like to start out thick, and then if I want to make it thin, I have that option, and then if I need it to be thick again somewhere, I also have that option. So it's, you know, my style may be a little bit different than everybody else's. Yeah, she's gonna look great. She's gonna look great. We're getting ready to do some dry brush on her next. That's just to pull out the zenithal highlights. A lot of times this feels like you're doing nothing, because you know, once you paint everything on there, you're like, why did I bother making it black and then putting white on it? Well, in the end, it does help. It does exactly what you're wanting it to do. It's hard to understand how paint layering works, and such. Her head is separate from her body. With that neck, actually, might just go ahead and glue that into place. She's going to be easy to paint because there's not a whole lot of overhang and stuff like that. So she should be pretty easy. And I just did 4, like right kind of on the edges of this, and it'll, as you slide that one down in there, it'll go, and it'll be a little bit maybe in the neck, and we won't have any like of it popping out. She got a long neck. Both these girls got long necks, man. I think Catwoman's is longer though. All right, try that again. Okay. Dry brushes, you're not getting your brush wet. You're starting off with it dry. And it's just a thin, we're just trying to pick up the shades. It's just a thin rubbing of white is all it really is. And as you get better at this, you know, you'll understand a lot more about how to keep it capturing your shadows properly and stuff like that. I think I glued those goggles on, which I'm starting to wonder if that was a mistake now, but we'll get in there just fine. I have my ways. And we want a little bit of that lip, honestly. We want that. So that's not a bad thing. And remember, kind of try to keep your direction the same direction. So we want the, you know, we don't want to start coming up with the lights coming down. If we were trying to do where the light was coming up, then we'd shade all of this direction instead of shading everything down this direction. If that makes any sense. Hopefully it makes a little sense. This also, I'll tell you what, as I've gotten older, I found that doing this helps me be able to see what I'm doing as well. So now we can see our repair here. And what might be fun is to make this look like her suit is torn. You know, and we've got a little bit of her flesh, maybe we even put in a little bit of blood or whatever, like she's been caught. Since we have that damage there, we're going to have to do something with it. I don't know what we'll do with Two Faces, but So I'm gonna kind of leave this section of this neck real light. I don't really, over here to the shoulders and stuff, where we get a little bit heavier again. But I'm kind of have that light moving a lot more heavy from this side. We can darken this up later if we want to. But I kind of want the light coming like this on her, so we have this darkness on here. So we want to while doing that, we want to make sure this side stays a lot more light. And we're going to remember that as we work on this. All right. Goes for everywhere on the deal. That side has to be lighter to make this idea work. I just want to get right into it. Hey, it's feeling. How are you, my friend? A good evening for you, right? If I remember correct. Good morning on my end. Good to see you, my friend. Okay. Oh, here's Harley. So now we got Batman, Harley, and the Joker. Way behind on school. Shame on you. Work on school. You know that's important. I'm just razzing you. Thank you. They look great, don't they? I'm really excited with them all. They've really sort of turning out great. Hey, it's Sir McBeardsly back in. That's good to see you, sir. Yeah, they're all looking fantastic. Harley really turned out well. Now that she's all dried up and stuff, looks great. Really got that nice faded dye look here where it doesn't look like it's right. It's completely set in anymore. It's kind of started to fade out. Yeah. I remember those days. I totally remember. Yeah, that's right. New Year just happened. Are you guys out right now? Or are you on vacation, or you literally right back in school? Okay. So we're gonna pull out. Let's go ahead and drop some coat on her face real fast. We might be able to get Catwoman done real quick. Just got back. Okay, well that's good. At least you're right. You're just now getting back into it. All right, so that's Pelrose Blush. That's gonna be our high end, and then we'll need Lowe's. This time I'm gonna put this umber over here for us. We use that for a lot of different things, but we also use it to shade these colors. That's another reason why I like these heavier body acrylics. If you're trying to make another color out of colors you've got, it's much smoother with those. Now, what the flap did I do? It should have been right there. It is not. Where'd it go? Should be right here with all the other paints I choose. I scratched I do it. I really need to clean up in here. It's getting out of control. That's all right. We can make Catwoman cooler. Oh, there it is. See, I was saying that, and it appears. Gonna start your army soon. What army are you painting? I can't remember if you told me that, and I've forgotten. Y'all have to forgive me. I'm old, so I forget things. Well, not that old, but... I can't remember if it was a fantasy or a 40k army. So that tells you how much I remember. I think I remember you guys talking about it, and you were trying to decide, but again, I have a lot of things going on. A lot of kids. Too many kids. That may not actually be a thing. There may not be a thing with too many kids. I mean, I guess there's where you can't afford them, and that's too many, right? You know what? Actually, this time, we're going to come through. We're going to throw in our browns first. I usually kind of break this down a different way. So we're going to try this. This is just an idea I had, maybe. I don't know if this is going to help or work out at all. I'm going to come back, and now that I've got my valleys from the dry brush, right? Got the peaks and valleys. Gonna add these browns in here. This might be a little bit more Sergio Calvo-esque. Calvo. He's really talented. And like sometimes you don't really even know what he's doing until he's like already halfway done with it. You're like, oh, wow. Yeah, I like that. And we're going to shade, because we're trying to shade this side, right? So that's just a raw, or not raw, burnt umber. Kind of a reddish brown. Selena Kyle's hair is blonde too, isn't it? If I remember right. Catwoman. Blonde would look great poking out from underneath this cap. Which means we want to paint that burnt umber as well. Start off her hair. We're just going to do all those little hair wisps. Okay, now we're going to go with our pale terracotta. Right down on top. This may actually be way faster. Keep all your brush strokes tight. Don't worry too much about too many of these other edges right now. We're going to come back and do a lot of work on a lot of that later. Try not to paint over her actual eyes themselves. We'll come and deal with that also later. Just try to make sure it's a nice clean, smooth coats, right? always looks like you're doing something wrong at first. That's how I've always felt. I'm like, this seems wrong. Seems wrong. Every time I paint a miniature, I'm always like, ugh, looks terrible, looks terrible. And then all of a sudden, boom, I've got it right. And the trick is to be able to see the end in your mind's eye. Keep that thing that you're trying to do in your mind. Remember your plan. Remember your idea, what you're trying to make it look like. Space Marines. Oh, Loyalist Death Guard. Nice. I like that Loyalist Death Guard. That's cool. I've got some Dark Angels around here somewhere I gotta finish up. And then I've got a ton of terrain. I really need to get done for a friend of mine's game studio, game shop. I've just been so, honestly, I've been pretty depressed. It's really my health has not been great, so it's kind of kicking my butt. It's all right though. I'm gonna get past it. I will find my way past, and we're gonna do it through art. That's the best way. Best way. Create something. I'm hoping to shake off these blues and get back to work on my comic. This needs very thin paint. Doesn't seem that way, but I keep my brush really wet when I'm doing this sort of stuff. And I guess it does look pretty. Probably does look pretty good on camera. Right now, we kind of want it thin. So we're trying to get a nice. Smooth finish here. Oh, the pain just starts to get to you just a little bit. You're like, oh my gosh. Alright, I gotta take a break. Guys. Oh. Dang shoulder. It's just mad as hell. Holy moly, market is just burning today. Man. That's what happens though. Can't keep squashing on people. Fun fact, today is Pokemon Day, 30th anniversary. Hey, that's fun. Oh, cool. Right on. Man, I should do up I have a Pokemon we painted. What was that when we did? Bulbasaur? I should get the spin up for Pokemon Day. Man, awesome. Thanks for that info, Sir McBeardsly. You are always on time with stuff, my friend. Okay, so this is Pale Terracotta, or this is Pale Rose Blush instead of Pale Terracotta. So this is yet one more stage lighter. Man, I'd like to come back and do another Catwoman African American um, complexioned with like some fun hair, just something fun, like a magenta or something like that, something subtle but something fun. I guess I could do that with this complexion, but I don't think it would be quite as stunning with the Caucasian complexion. I think you'd have better. It'd be more stunning against the darker brown skin. Make her kind of like Halle Berry. Have you ever seen that Catwoman? On this side, I'm continuing with just the pale terracotta. I'm going to keep that pale rose blush pretty much on the other side. And for this, is probably going to stay mostly the terracotta color. I'll do a little bit of blending as we get to the transitions where the light source would be. But we want to kind of keep the color from one side different than the color from the other side. Just as we finish this out. And if you go follow Sergio Calvo and you watch a video, tell him you're there because Pieces Pat sent you. Pieces Pat Paint sent you. That would be crazy. If I could ever get that guy to like check me out, I would be. He's one of the guys I really admire. His work is so good, so good. Okay, we're gonna let that sit up and dry for just a little bit. Time for a cup of coffee. Time for a sip of coffee, right? Oh my. What a crazy day on the markets. Crazy day. PPI came in, for those of you who follow all of this, PPI came in hot, bad, real bad. It was bad. 30 years. I can't believe it's been 30 years. That's crazy. So yeah, PPI came in bad, which essentially means like, oh God, what's the best way? The inflation itself. So, and this isn't necessarily the inflation that the big people use. This is it's I mean, it's not good, but it's slowly showing declines in the market. Man, I can't find my Payne's Great. That's my favorite color too. Can't find it. Guys, I really got to clean up in here. It's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. I can't find my stuff. Oh, what am I doing to myself? I put it up. That's why I couldn't find it, because I'd accidentally put it away. I don't know why I did that. I knew I was going to need it. I don't know why. I'm trying to keep all these colors over here because a lot of these are going to stay the same. And that's another thing about how I work is like I use a lot of the same colors just in different combinations and tones and mixes to help me kind of get everything going the right way. So this one's going to be kind of interesting. So what I want to do here is I kind of want to get this completely covered in this Payne's Gray. And then we did more of a true Mars Gray for most of Batman's stuff. And his cowl is Payne's Gray. So I'm going to make a lot of her stuff Payne's Gray. And then we're going to throw a black wash on top of it all. undo this. I'm going to do this before I finish this face. That way, in case I have to come back and do any, I'll do all the final adjustments then. And the hair and all that. We'll do all that after we've done the rest of this. So we've got our base start going there, and we're really just kind of trying to lock in everything before we do this wash that we're going to do on this particular uniform. Because that's not rubber, or not leather. I don't know what she's wearing, but it ain't leather. Rubber, maybe. Who knows? She's wearing a giant rubber. That's nasty. So the best thing about this, though, is it should make Catwoman fairly easy to paint. It should make her... We'll be able to crank this one out pretty fast. Might actually be able to get this done today. So let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe do we marathon this guy out? See how long we... Gal? It's not a guy. It's a gal. That's how you can tell that most of the world is filled with male posed comic things, is that I'm constantly saying guy, whether it's a girl or not. But I also have called girls dude, like, to their faces, like, bruh, dude, what are you doing? To their, like, so I don't know. I think maybe dude and guy and bruh have kind of started to get a little bit meaning person. I don't know. That's weird. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just weird. I'm totally willing to accept that that's a possibility. We can even see here real fast how nice that zenithal highlighting works for you. So it's gonna just go ahead and give us a lot of the shadows and textures. Now, whether we want to accent that again later or not, we can, but it gives you a lot of already built-in shadows and highlights, you know? Which is that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Why did it take me off? Don't do that. I hate when it does that. I try to keep myself on watching it on my phone so that it will, like, I don't know, count as a view and keep my view hours going. Again, super appreciate everybody who stops by. If you like painting models and miniatures and busts and drawing and sculpting, and I don't know, we do all sorts of stuff here. So if you're into art and you're into an old man running his mouth about everything that comes to his stupid head, then come on. I don't actually think I'm stupid. It's just like, I don't know, when I was a kid, you know, when you were saying ridiculous, you're kind of being stupid. Completely different than a bullshit-idiot. If you're a bullshit-idiot, then that means you're spewing idiotic stuff with the complete confidence of an idiot. I definitely don't do that. At least I try not to. And see, and that's what I'm saying. You want to do official players all tangling up on me. Like I said, we're going to come back and we're going to trim a lot of that up. So you're going to make some mistakes. That's why we're not finished with that face yet. We've just kind of got it to a point where we can mess with it. You can call everyone guys and dudes. So yeah, it's definitely, there's a group out there, at least people, who we kind of do that, whether it's intentional or not. Calling everybody dude. Oh yeah. So yeah, thanks for coming by, everybody. Really appreciate you. If you've got any questions, I love questions. That really helps me kind of decide what to talk about. Ooh, that's got a little thick. I grabbed a little too much paint, so we're just gonna add a little water to that. Since we're just doing all this in one color anyway, it's gonna make things super easy. Now, had it been where we weren't doing all this in one color, we would want to blot that off. In this situation, it's really not gonna affect what we're doing too much. We just need to make sure we get it wetted down and get it moved around fast. We don't want it setting up thick in a little area like that, because that's bad. Right down her zipper. I'm definitely thinking a nice bronze for that zipper. It should look really, really, really cool. Now, you might think that you'd want to do silver. And you could totally do silver. But because, okay, so Payne's Gray has that bluish hue to it. You should be able to kind of see that as it's rotating around. Favorite DC hero is always going to be Batman. Huge Batman fan. I'll never not be a Batman fan. Grew up on Batman. When I was in middle school into high school was when the Batman animated series came out, with Mark Hamill as the Joker, and they brought in the Harley Quinn character and all that stuff. I kind of remember all that vividly, and so I've always been a huge Batman fan. It's not my favorite comic. My favorite comic is probably either The Crow or Watchmen. I freaking love Watchmen. I still love Watchmen. But yeah, DC wise, definitely, you're definitely looking at it. The Batman, the Batman Rogues Gallery. I love that stuff. Even Robin. And my oldest son was a huge Batman fan. I made a Batmobile cake one time for his birthday. My friend of mine, it was a pastry chef, and we made a Batman. It was a chocolate Batmobile cake. It was freaking amazing. It's more of a nonchalant one. Yeah, versus they then really kind of is. I'm definitely pretty nonchalant. I'm not. There's two ways it kind of goes with me. I'm either trying to irritate people on purpose, or what you just took as offending you, you definitely just made it into something offensive for yourself. That's just kind of how I operate. Like, you can choose to be offended by everything I say. And, it's a 50-50 chance of whether or not I decided I was trying to make you offended or not. Like, I may have just been messing around and saying something and it offended somebody. But sometimes I am not a nice guy, and I will definitely offend people on purpose. Which seems like a bad idea, honestly. It seems like you should not offend people. Oh yeah, Kelly's gonna be nice. Where are we? 40 minutes in. Okay, guys. I'm gonna try to do it. Okay. Keep stretching that out a little bit. I do have an appointment to see a doctor about it. I'm finally going to see a doctor about this beat up ass shoulder, just so everybody can calm down about that one. I've had a lot of people asking me when I'm going to see a doctor. I am going to see a doctor Monday. Oh, by the way, we will not be here Monday. So don't come looking for us on our show on Monday. I will be at the doctor having the shoulder looked at. Okay, so by making the rest of her suit purple, that lets us, or not purple, paint's gray. It lets us make this strap black, actual black. Cause see, we didn't force ourselves down into the darkest thing immediately, right? So we can bring that black, and it's gonna really stand out against everything else. I really only like to use black as like accents and final shadows, washes, things like that. I'm very leery to put pure black on things, just as a general habit. And even here, it's not going to be pure black because we're going right over the top of that zenithal, so it's going to end up with a slight gray to it. Especially here on this side, where we have the heavier zenithal. Was that a stray? Was that a stray? I can't tell. I don't think it was. Maybe I strayed in there. I'm gonna get it out of there just in case. In case my brush went a little stray. Like I said, when we were working on that, that's the reason why we want to get the face started and then finish it after we've done all this extra stuff. That's her suit hat. That's her suit hood coming down there. Kind of want, man. What if we made the lenses on the eyes like yellow, like cat's eye yellow? Am I tripping? Am I being weird? Might look cool. That might look cool, y'all. Listen. Hear me now, believe me later. I feel like that's what they did on... Let's see. I admit I don't know a ton of DC. Generally lower powers. Dr. Fate. Yeah, he's a pretty cool idea. Dr. Fate's good. And Flash is really cool. The whole Flash situation is a really neat one. And who doesn't like Lobo? I mean, everybody likes Lobo. It's hard not to like that guy, even though he's a giant dick. You're like, oh god, here he comes again. Gonna be a giant asshat. And he is asshat, and then everybody's like, yay, Lobo, he's an asshat. It's really weird. Okay. I think I'm ready to do it. Okay, so what I want to do here, to make this yellow, I'm gonna put a thin coat of pale rose blush down first. I'm going to get close to the edges as I can, but I'm not going to worry too much about it because a little bit of extra edge in there isn't going to hurt anything. It's going to be, you know, be like the dark grit that's on the edges of the goggles themselves. Don't be afraid to move it around to get the angle that you want, right? Don't force yourself to paint at angles if you don't want to. Unless you have to because of the way the model is. Now I'm tightening up brush strokes, right? Second verse, same as the first. Yeah, I'd love to finally, like, I don't know. It'd be cool to break into the industry or into this the miniature painting scene on YouTube, but I'm definitely not worried about it. But it would be cool if I could ever get to the point where like Sergio is, being able to paint like he does. He wins like a bunch of these golden demons and these huge awards because he's just so talented. Here I'm fanboying the hell out of this guy. But yeah, if you want to see like the guy that I consider to be the top miniature painter, go check that guy out. Sergio Calvo. I like Squid more. I think they do a good job too. Don't get that wrong. I think Squid's a great channel. But golly, the stuff that Sergio does is just it's ridiculous. It's like when I was a chef, I used to watch this cat, Fred Audrio, and everything he did. I watched everything this guy did. Every article that came out, I read. Every publication, I watched. I read up on. The guy was definitely like my chef crush, which is weird. You'd think my big chef crush would be Chef Ramsay because I'm a Rangers fan, and he played for Rangers when he was a kid, and he's a Rangers fan. But no, and I like Chef Ramsay. I got to meet him once. It's really cool. But no, Ferran Adria, his stuff's so cool. And I don't even think they're doing it anymore. He used to run a restaurant called Il Bulli in Spain. And it was, I never got to eat there. But I kept track of everything he did. Such a cool dude. Alright, let's fix this little... bit while we're here. Might want to do one more round of the panes. Yes, when you were in culinary school, I talked about him a lot. That's when he was at that's when Il Bulli was still open. I think they're closed now, but because he just got tired of doing it. I can't imagine like that being the reason you shut a restaurant down. Like you're just like, you know what, I'm tired of working. So I'm tired of working, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it up and not do this anymore. Like, geez, me, really? Although he probably did open another one later on down the line. That's usually how that goes. They just get done with one project and they're like, you know what? Time for a different project. Which I totally get, man. I totally get that. Yeah, so second coat, Payne's Gray, just to make sure got everything nice, smooth. Take your time, get through it. Nothing to worry about. Again, we'll come back and work on that face after we get everything kind of blocked in. We'll finish all that up, clean it up. It'll be the last thing we do. Everything else will get done, and then we'll come back and finish the face. That way, any mistakes we make, we'll be able to just get them corrected at the very end instead of having to correct them while, over and over and over again as we're trying to get everything put in and done. Right now, we're kind of waiting on the goggles to dry a little bit before we start messing with them anymore. If you ever gets to where you feel like you're putting paint on and it's rubbing paint off, then what's happening is that the situation's too wet and the paint isn't adhering. And you really need to just back off, let it dry, come back again. Come back to it when it's ready. There's a lot to painting, and it's one of those things, man. So like, okay, I got into this argument with this chick on the internet because that's a perfectly productive thing to do with your life. It's not. Don't do this. Anyway, she was kind of irritated because somebody else had posted this meme about what's that movie book thing, Hunger Games, right? This idea that this guy would be able to paint his disguise to the point that that guy does it in that movie. Okay, and from what I understand, it's not quite described in the book the way it is done in the movie. So the person who wrote the book and the people who made the visual representation in the movie aren't really on the same page with how this is supposed to look, right? Because as somebody who paints things regularly, and somebody who, like, I was in theater, so I've done stage makeup. I've done a lot of that stuff. We do a lot of costumes here at the house, and so we do a lot of makeup. I'm very familiar with how it works. I do body painting, all sorts of stuff. Speaking of which, anybody wants body paintings or any kind of artwork done, please feel free to contact me. Get me a hold of me on Instagram, whatever. I can paint just about anything. So this girl gets really mad about this meme, and I'm like, hey, listen though, but like, I paint every day, and I'm okay at it. I wouldn't call myself a super pro, but that guy was a baker who painted on his off time. So like, I feel like I can actually speak here, as a chef, and now I paint a lot. And, okay, great. The guy didn't have a mirror. So like, I'm a really good painter, and I'm pretty good at makeup. I couldn't do it if I couldn't see it. So funny. I don't know. I thought it was really amusing. She did not think it was funny. Definitely took it way more personal than I was anticipating her taking it. It's pretty funny. In all honesty, pretty funny. That's terrible. That's terrible of me. Ugh. Okay, well, almost to that hour mark. What do we think, guys? Just keep chugging, let it all dry. Man, I feel like we could get this thing done today. But then again, I don't want to wear myself completely out. My shoulder really hurts. So I gotta weigh my options here. What the hell did I do it? I just had it out. Why did I do that bronze? Man, this has happened to me all day. I mean, keep trying to find stuff, but I can't figure out where I put it. I don't know if that's just pain or if that's just me. Black. snap did I do? It's in there. Fell down inside one of the drawers. Yeah, I don't know. Try not to. Try not to overdo it. I think I still got a little bit in me though. So we're gonna kind of keep smashing at it. Alright, just a little bit of this cadmium too. And you wouldn't want to put, again, don't put yellow right on top of black. That is never going to work. You have to put something underneath it. And it works better if it's kind of like a pink color. And certain pinks can make it like neon, depending on, you know, what you're putting underneath it. But if you want yellows to really stand out, pink underneath is the way to go. If I remember right, her eyes are like emerald ass green, so that's gonna be fun. We gave Harley blue eyes. Bats doesn't have eyes. I gave Joker these weird yellowed eyes. They're very strange looking. They're a strange yellow. This guy felt kind of fit. You're about to find out why I said I wanted to do this in bronze. That blue is really going to look great with the yellow of the bronze, right? You're talking contrasting colors. Very, very careful here. Super tiny brush. Tiny little bits of paint. Don't push your luck. Make sure your brush is dry, is wet, but doesn't have any daubles of water like that can roll onto your brush. So if you have like what's called the fold, this is your fold, right? So if you got water hanging out of here, you need to get that off before you get started because it can run down onto your brush and it will make your life a living hell. I don't recommend it to anybody ever in the history of ever. Would I recommend that you do it? Make sure you're breathing. Make sure you're breathing. Boom. Wonderful looking zipper, right? Okay, so So this is a wash that I made out of oil paints and oh shit, my brain is not functioning. Mineral spirits. So we're gonna grab everything here, except for her face. We're going to kind of give it a wash over here. Now what I'm going to do here on these goggles, just to show you kind of a little trick. Okay. Now we just want to remove that excess. Just blot that off. Right? When we come back, we'll be able to clean those up a little bit more, and it's going to seal all those edges. Now, you could have just done this whole thing that way. You could literally taken her from her zenithal highlighted deal, and you could have just thrown this wash on top of it, and it probably would have made it look great. But we wanted that. I like that Payne's gray under there. I like that differences in the color. It's really just going to make things so much easier. It's really going to settle in to all the points. Right now it's going to be really kind of hard to tell, but what will happen when this dries up is that it will look very different. And that actually may be where we need to stop for today, because we kind of needed to let that dry so we can get in and finish. So we're not moving, we're not disturbing it, because to hold it right now, I got to be careful about where I'm touching it. So we might need to just wait till tomorrow to get, or not tomorrow, or whenever, I guess. Hell, who knows? Maybe I will come down tomorrow. Screw it. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of like, I don't know. I'm about to rant. Okay, so, man, I'm getting real tired of my life working in these strange ways. Like, I'm gonna start making my life work in whatever way I want it to work. You know what I mean? So we might just come back tomorrow, especially since we're gonna be. I missed yesterday and I was gone on. We go on Monday, so we might just come back tomorrow and finish her up. Really need to let it dry. At this point, I don't know. Shoot, maybe just hang out for a second. I don't know. But I'm tired of living my life based on some strange construct of a schedule that we came up with decades ago. Just, like 9 to 5 weekdays, Monday to Friday. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't like it when I was a chef. Like, my life was completely screwed because it wasn't like everybody else's life. And now I've been working my life like everybody else's life. I don't like this either. I think I just want to have my time be my time and just do whatever I want whenever I want to. You know what I mean? Like, why? Beyond like having to get things made for yourself to eat and taking care of like your house and your responsibilities and stuff. You should just do whatever you want. Like, you should, maybe I'm freaking out. Maybe I'm just being weird. I don't know. But anyway, Afghanistan and Pakistan are back at war. Iran has decided that they don't want a Trump's deal. Things are crazy. I'm crazy. But you know what we should do? Be good to each other. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Be good to people you don't know. Just be good. Spread some goodness around. I know I need to do more of that myself. So, I don't know. Maybe if we all do that a little bit more, we'll all be better off. Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, I think I'm gonna come back. We'll come back probably tomorrow and talk to you later.